The Spurs get a resounding 103-82 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 4 at the Frost Bank Center after they bounced back after a tough loss in Game 3. The Spurs were down 2-1 in the series, and you could really tell from the start that they really were focused in this game and they really wanted to set the tone because they did not want to go down 3-1 going back to Oklahoma City. They were led by Victor Wembanyama, who had a huge game. He could really tell that he really had an aggressive mindset after not being as aggressive in Game 3. He really got to his spots, whether in the mid-range, attacking the basket, getting to the foul line, and he even made a huge half-court shot to end the second quarter that really gave the Spurs a huge surge in the second half. Also, the Spurs had some injuries coming into this game. De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper, who were questionable going into Game 3, they played, also questionable going into Game 4. I really liked the jolt that Fox gave the Spurs. At times, he really attacked the basket, really getting to his spots. And he's a much-needed player because with the ball pressure that Oklahoma City provides, he's another ball handler that you need to be able to negate that pressure. And not only someone that can create their own shot, but also somebody that can get other players involved. And I think he had 12 points, but it was a much-needed boost for the Spurs as well. And Dylan Harper even had some nice baskets as well, because those are two guys that they're really reliant on this team, and just them playing and giving them production was much needed. I was really impressed with the Spurs defense because even though Jalen Williams, the Thunder's second best player, did not play, and AJ Mitchell, SGA was really quiet in this game. He was 6 of 15. Spurs did a great job of hounding him all night. Also, Stephon Castle was just not letting him get off screens really easily, just being in his airspace, making life difficult for him, making his passes difficult, making his shots difficult. They also were really disciplined, something Mitch Johnson really was preaching after Game 3 because they thought on a couple of his fouls, the Spurs were undisciplined and got out of their game plan. So they did a good job of sticking to their fundamentals and not bailing out SGA and letting him get to the foul line and making life as difficult as possible. And really no one else really stepped up for the Thunder, and that was the credit to the Spurs defense because they really did a great job of turning the Thunder over, getting easy transition points, as well as getting 50 points in the paint to the Thunder's 36, because the Thunder really don't have any size to be able to stop the Spurs, and that's one of their advantages, and they really did a great job of taking care of the boards. They also won the three-point battle, which is very important because you know the Thunder can get hot from three. And another aspect that I liked is the Spurs pretty much led the entire game, but unlike Game 3, they kept their foot on the gas pedal all second half. At times, the Thunder made a couple of runs. Kendrick Williams made a couple of threes, but then the Spurs responded resoundingly and did not let the Thunder get any closer than about 15 to 20 points. They kept them at arm's length, and they were able to rest their players in the fourth quarter, which was really important because these guys are playing really heavy minutes, and you're going to need their legs to be fresh for a pivotal Game 3. So I was really impressed with the Spurs, the way that they bounced back and really set the tone because there was a lot of pressure coming into this game, going down 3-1, but then the crowd really kept them into the game. Spurs made shots. I love the way that they executed on the offensive side of the ball. The ball movement was really crisp. They were getting really good shots, and the role players overall stepped up. Harrison Barnes had some great minutes. Champagnie, who did not have a great offensive game, had 2 big blocks and some big defensive plays. And like I said, Fox and Harper really stepped up, and Luke Cornett was able to get some boards and get some finishes because he's important, because he is the main backup big when Victor Wembanyama went to the bench. And that was the thing I was watching. In Game 3, the Spurs lost their non-Wemby minutes, and they were +5 when Wemby was playing on the court. This time, they did a really good job of keeping their head above water in those non-Wemby minutes. Carter Bryant also was another guy that he's just going to continue to get better and better. He had some rough patches, a little bit fouling SGA a couple of times, but you could tell Coach Mitch Johnson was really getting into him because he sees the potential and he knows that they're going to need Carter Bryant later on in the series. So I like what the Rook also bring as well. So the Spurs should be feeling really good about where they are. The series is tied at 2-2. It's a best out of 3 series with 2 out of those 3 games going to be in Oklahoma City. Let's see if the Spurs can bring that same game plan, bring that same energy into Game 5, because you know the Thunder role players are going to play much better, and the Thunder are going to make more than 5 3-pointers most likely in Game 5. This series is continued to be very physical, continue to be a rock fight between the top 2 teams in the Western Conference. This is basically the NBA Finals. This is Shivam Patel coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, the morning before Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. I will be back, but thank you so much, everybody, for watching.